How do you feel about microwaves?
A little boxed in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like them? I cannot microwave things.
Like you don't know
I don't know how many numbers.
Wait. Is this the whole basis of it? Because that's one of the episodes that's in the queue, actually.
Oh yeah, the microwave one? Did I tell you about how I got fired? Because
Yes.
I couldn't use a microwave?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm going to cross that one off. You got a quote?
I lost the quote. I had a quote
shoot.
before, but I wanted to say that I looked it up, and because we've talked about business before in episodes, and sorry, that was
Guest appearance.
That was a guest appearance of Stevia, my new puppy.
We need to have the 21 question interview with Steve.
That's true. 25% of CEOs in the United States are dyslexic.
25%?
25%.
Yeah. And how about
Feels like a lot.
entrepreneurs are pretty high too.
Yeah, and I don't know
And people
what
in
even is
jail.
classified.
That's true too. So
I don't even know what is classified either, though, as a CEO. I don't know if it's right? Like, are they talking about you run a company
Isn't that what,
of just you?
I don't know. Like, I'm in academia. I don't know how companies work. Really.
Well, I don't know
CEO,
if they're
runs the
speaking
company?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chief Executive Officer.
Got
but
it.
I don't know. What I'm saying is I don't know if they're counting you run a company where you tutor people, and they're like, oh, Sean's the CEO of Sean's dyslexic tutoring or whatever.
Okay.
Right? And it's well, that doesn't really count. Or if they're talking about of the Fortune 500 companies, so the top
that would be a good
500
question.
companies in the world or in the country are the 25% of those CEOs dyslexic.
You know, if I had to bet on that, I would say yeah.
It seems like a lot, but
Because you have to have those soft skills, man. And that's
Yeah.
what dyslexic people are really good at. Networking, soft skills, knowing who to surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Because they're not sending out long emails.
No.
Someone else types it up.
No.
They say, hey, I need an email saying this. And they type it up or whatever.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Technology.
So one of the things that Empowering Dyslexia Thinking at Work online class did on LinkedIn is that
Love it.
they talked about how AI is developing faster than anyone really imagined, and that AI works really well with dyslexic people.
Really?
Yeah. Kind of makes sense, man. If you think of Steve Jobs, he had Woz. Totally different brains.
Yep.
So he's dyslexic, Woz isn't.
Yep.
Woz is
and
I
they
think
could
almost
just
spectrum.
flow. Yeah, for sure.
And then you had Alexander Graham Bell and Watson. You had just over and over. You see you have a dyslexic person and someone who's really I don't know, a different thinker.
Yeah, whatever.
A linear thinker.
Yeah, sure.
And was hey, I can tell you what to do, but I don't know how to do it.
Yep.
I want to go here.
Yep.
And then I was when I got to
what's so
Bellarmine-
fun? I really liked. I liked
no.
the way you described that a lot. I think tech helps us do this, and I think these partnerships, whether it be through a person or technology, where you say, I really got to your Energizer Bunny, dyslexic.
Yeah.
I got this idea that we can get there by doing this, this, and this. I don't know how to do steps 1, 5, and 8.
Right.
Right. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I can do the other steps, but I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I never thought about it that way, but the teams that I've been on in my career are totally like that, where I'm we need to do this. I knew these pieces, but you guys need to come in and grab these, and then we'll be here.
Yeah. Kind of you're inventing something that's brand new.
Yes.
And there's a way to get there, and you know what? We got to cross the ocean. I need a boat.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I don't know how to build
I can't
a boat,
swim that
but
far.
I know that we got to get there,
Right.
and I know we got to do this once we get there.
Yep.
But do you think that AI is... I didn't want to cut you off.
No, it's good.
Do you think that AI is able to tell us we need a boat?
No.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
AI is not creative. AI is really good at following instructions. Right? It's really good at it. And it's going to get better.
Right.
What is it called? The Moore's effect. Every 2 years, things get faster. Yeah. So
5?
I think it's 2, but if that happens with AI, if
It'll
it
be
doubles in knowledge
insane.
in 2 years, it'll be way smart. It already wins Jeopardy.
Yeah.
It already is best at chess.
Want it go.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but it can't ask questions. It's not curious.
Right.
And I don't know if they can teach it that yet, but they're you get AI and a dyslexic person in the same room,
Yeah.
you can do just about anything you want.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, and that's what this whole thing is about. They're saying, in a couple years, you're going to have AI doing all the things that your employees are doing.
100%. Because
So-
You talk about that. They have the new, I don't know if we want to say specifically what it's called, but a large company has the new AI system that ties in directly with your platforms.
Okay.
So like your Outlook, your PowerPoint, your anything you're doing to run your business, your Slack, your Google, and it ties in with it together and allows that what you just said to happen. So the dyslexic person's behind it, and then AI is going through
doing all the stuff,
doing all that,
all the minutia.
Yeah, and so I had a whole meeting about it on Thursday,
Wow.
where I was like, we need to get this software, so that our type of team, who all we do is create new things, like for the business, now all that the minutia expert becomes AI, right?
Yeah,
and then we find out where those limitations are, and then that's where us as creative thinkers, some dyslexic, can control it and push it in the right. Is it about pushing it in the right direction?
just asking the right questions.
Okay.
And having a direction, a unique way of seeing things.
Yeah.
Which is what we're good at. We're like, why are we doing it this way?
Right.
You know, we ask those kind of questions.
Because do you think, though, that AI and technology helps us, like, move in those correct directions, and it doesn't have to ask the question, why are we doing it wrong? That it would just fix it? But it wouldn't be from a curious nature. It would just be from an efficiency nature.
Yeah, efficiency.
Right.
Yes.
But what's the difference?
There's the target. There's like, okay, so when I went to Bellarmine, I was assigned a guy who did IT. And he was Spectrum, which was awesome because I'm not Spectrum.
Right.
And so I would be like, I want a button, and when I click the button, I want a box, and it's going to be a video, and I'm going to hit record, and then I'm going to hit save, and then it'll be right here in this software.
Right.
And he was like, what? And I was like, okay. So I had to draw out little pictures, and he's like, oh yeah, I can do that. And he just starts coding away, right?
Yeah.
So it was one of those things like, I had, this is before Teams and all that. I was like, I need a way to record in our LMS.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't exist, but we have, you can open the hood of our LMS and look inside, right? So you give me someone who knows what they're doing in there, and I can be like, okay, so I want this to do that. It was so much better, but someone had to come up with that idea, That's
it's so funny because I don't, now I do, but I wouldn't automatically think of that as dyslexic by saying, because I've literally done exactly what you're talking about, where I'm like,
this is what has to happen.
I want this and this, and then sometimes it's like whole facilities.
Yeah.
Like I want this whole facility to look and move like this, but I don't know how to get the right people in to do that, or to get their, where do you get the equipment to make that work, right? But I know that it must. I have a lot of things that happen to me where I say, I know this must exist, and it turns out to exist. I don't know if that happens to you, where I'm like, I know that you can do this. Like, I know I'm very bad at Excel. Excel is a great platform, but I'm very bad at using Excel. But we have someone on our team that's really good at it. But in my head, for some reason, I understand what it's capable of doing. I'm like, I know that it can do this.
Make it happen.
And can you make it happen? Yeah. And it can.
Yeah.
Right? And that's a weird, I don't know what that is. That's a weird thing to me, where I feel like I understand the limitations of what and the places software can go, but without actually really knowing how to do whatever the mechanism is on the software.
Right. Like we talked in an earlier podcast, like the Chaldeans couldn't read Egyptian hieroglyphics, but they knew the first sound. And they're like, let's just pick the 20 sounds we use in our language.
Yeah, that'll help.
And then use that.
Have you seen the new, do you use PowerPoint a lot?
Not a lot, but I use it.
So PowerPoint does a new thing where when you're presenting over PowerPoint, like, so if you're presenting over Teams and you have a PowerPoint on there and you're going through it and you're talking, it'll play the text. It'll write the text down at the bottom as you live talk on it, which I think is...
Teams does that too now.
Oh, yeah. I see, and I think that's
so awesome.
Really, really cool.
Because,
especially for just other learners,
Yeah, I remember teaching online, and it was like, if you do a video, you have to have all the text written out and have to read it so that you can post it, because it has to be the same.
Oh.
And it's like, now it just Teams does that.
So you couldn't riff or anything.
Boom.
It made it harder. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, I am reading on the computer, like that kind of stuff. That's how I felt. So a lot of rehearsal, Now it's just Teams does all that work for us. So, they talked about a few technologies that are supposed to be very useful to us. I don't know if you use any of these. Like, do you text to speak, or do you use speech to text?
I text to speak
really
all the time,
okay.
especially on my phone.
Okay.
Pretty much, you'll find.
I should do that.
So Bridget's gotten used to all of a sudden we'll be sitting on the couch or something doing nothing, and I'm like texting or doing whatever it is, and Bridget's gotten used to me hearing me just say a random word out of nowhere because she realizes I've typed majority of a text and I don't know a word, and then she'll just hear tomorrow, or she'll hear, or I'm doing something for work, so she'll hear like productivity matrix, and I'm just like sitting here not doing anything, but she doesn't know what I'm texting about.
Right.
But I'll type the rest of it and lean in and just do the parts I don't know how to spell.
Right.
Yeah. Or the word or the spell check won't get for me. So it was really funny when we first got together because she was like, "What'd you say?" And I was like, "I'm not talking to you." Also, there's no context for her. Right. Because she's like, "I don't know what is happening." Yeah. I use it every single day of my life.
Huh.
Yeah. You just click the little, I don't know how it is on your phone, but you just click the little
button.
Mic. Yeah, there's like a little microphone.
I think I just use weird words. Like it doesn't know what I'm saying sometimes. Really? Yeah. Like, I don't know. My vocabulary or
you're
something.
Doing a lot of onomatopoeia or something
like that?
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah. And it's like, do you mean a piece of pie? You know, like,
no,
I didn't say that.
No, I mean onomatopoeia.
So I just type it.
That's the problem. Sometimes I can't even get there.
But at least it's closer. So they talk about, of course, spell check, grammar. So I use Grammarly, which is kind of annoying sometimes because it blocks my screen where I'm trying to type. Mm-hmm. I don't like that. But it is helpful. They said use voice messaging a lot instead of texting. Record a voice message and send it for dyslexic people. And then you can just listen to it.
A lot of my
about that.
A lot of my friends do that. I think
there's an app. What app is that? WhatsApp.
It seems to be more popular in other countries than it is here, as far as I understand. Because this is very anecdotal, but from the friends of mine that have lived overseas for a period of time, always come back and they only voice memo me. Like they don't text anymore. Okay. They just voice memo me. And I don't know if that's
They
common,
say that's
I do both.
They say it's better for dyslexic people.
Humans here and humans there.
Yeah.
But WhatsApp is helpful.
Yeah. I think it's great. And I haven't done the whole thing yet because talking a whole thing out recorded feels weird in my head. Like instead of like texting a whole sentence. Yeah. Like talking something out without making some sort of mistake or I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels weird to me to do that in a text format. I don't know why.
But if you say it audio,
is it harder to audio?
It feels challenging for me to do it, especially when I'm trying to say something like specific. I almost feel like I have to like re-record it over and over, almost like you're doing like at least the text you can just go back and edit it and fix it. You have to end it and do the whole thing again.
I like the improv of the audio.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah.
Maybe I'm just too calculated in my text messages.
You know what I think it was? It's just teaching online during COVID. Mm-hmm. Like I got really relaxed about it. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not gonna say something right. Like I'll call England a continent when I know it's not. You know, just stuff like that.
It just doesn't.
Whatever, you know.
Matter.
I know. Who cares?
I find myself. I've moved into this since I give probably presentations in front of like 40 to 50 people, like at least every single week, if not more than once, in person and over Teams. And so when I do it over Teams, I've actually really gotten into scripting instead of like presenting without a script.
Oh, right.
So I put in the notes of the PowerPoint, right, that they can't see. I write down exactly what I'm going to say and I just read it.
Whoa.
And I've never done that before in my life, but I do so many. And I have to cover the exact same content the exact same way in every single presentation so that everybody knows what's going on. And I only saw it. I would never even thought about it because it's just not my nature. Yeah. Until I saw my boss do it. And I told him, I go, man, that was good. Like, you didn't forget anything. And he goes, I just wrote it down. He was just like, it's all, like I just read the whole thing. And I don't normally do that. But I think it definitely has a place for... Even if you think you are a very good speaker, it definitely has a place.
Yeah, because you forget stuff. I remember, like, I do lectures, too, and I would go in without notes. And then I'd leave the class and go, like, I totally forgot.
And then you have to, like... And it might be
have to remember it was that class I didn't do it,
and you have to resend it out to a group or something and say, it gets to the point. I
totally forgot about this, guys, and it's important.
And it's a piece that I just forgot. I can't miss.
So now I do bullet points. Yeah, I'll have a sticky note on my thing, and with all the things, like make sure you talk about these 20 things.
See, that's what I just put into the PowerPoint now, and it's good too because like from a scalability perspective, if other people are going to start to get that presentation, I'm like, I might as well have this stuff in here anyway. Yeah. Right. I might as well make it as easy as possible for someone else to do this.
That's how I think too with classes. Yeah. When I'm building a class. So
I think
presentation tools.
I think we're down to final thoughts.
Yeah. So one of the takeaways I got was they said AI aggregates, dyslexic thinking integrates and innovates.
Whoa.
So I was like, that was kind of a cool.
Can you say that one more time?
I'll try to.
Yeah.
AI aggregates.
Yep.
Dyslexic thinking. I put DT, so I'm always starting to think.
Yep.
Because I was trying to take notes really fast.
I like that.
It integrates and innovates.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's a good one to leave the listeners to think on.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, let's get on board with AI.
Cool.
Change the world. I don't know.
I think that's changed the world. Can we just... maybe we should think of a quote to end every episode. The same quote to end every episode on.
I just think it's really cool to live in a time, because for so long, because it's the British Empire, like, dyslexic people have been, like, kicked out. And now they're like, we want you back.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Come back, baby. You know, it's like, yes. I love it.
So it's good. Yeah, finally.
I'm back.
Yep. Comply.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you everyone for joining us for another episode of Dyslexics Untied. New episodes every Saturday wherever you get your podcasts. Also, catch us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.